Hi, OJ. Before I share this, let me warn you. My story is not easy to hear. I was taken to a cult where they broke a bottle inside me and used my own blood and rituals. I smeared heroin on my lips like lip gloss just to stay numb. I saw violence, witchcraft, and death so closely that I thought I would never escape. This is not just about prostitution. It is about how deep darkness can drag a person when they are only trying to survive. OJ, I need you to listen carefully because what I went through proves that life is truly spiritual. OJ, let me tell you my story. It is not a sweet one. It is not easy, and sometimes I still shudder when I remember. But I believe someone out there will hear me and decide not to follow the road I once walked. I was born in a home where we weren't poor, but neither were we rich. My parents could provide food, clothes, and the basic things a child needs, but knowledge and wisdom were not part of that package. My mother used to warn me that if I ever slept with a man, I would die. And OJ, I believed her. Nobody sat me down to explain life, no guide, to guide me through what I was stepping into as a young girl. So when the day came, I walked into a man's room, shaking like a leaf, clueless, not even knowing what to do. The man looked at me as though I was dumb. That was the introduction to the world of sex. And it opened the door to a life I never planned for myself. At first, it was just about survival. Rent was never easy. 1 month I had money, the next I didn't. Work was inconsistent. Slowly, I slipped into sex work. And when you fall into that life, people brand you forever. Other mothers warned their children not to play with mine, saying, "Those are the children of a prostitute." And even today, OJ, some people still have my number saved on their phone as Chantel, the prostitute, not her real name. But let me tell you, prostitution is not just one thing. There are levels. Some parade on the streets, some strip in clubs, some do private shows, others are high-class escorts who dress in office suits and heels so that even their own mothers think they are working a normal job. And then there are those so-called temple prostitutes, those who move from church to church seeking miracles, sleeping with pastors or bosses, hoping to secure blessings. That was the world I came to understand. Dark, layered, and controlled by power. Power is deeper than the eyes can see. To survive in this world, OJ, you had to belong somewhere. And many of us belongs to cults. Each girl had their own cult, their territory. They controlled us with rituals. I was taken to one, and that was where I experienced some of the most horrific things in my life. OJ, they commanded men to fix a bottle inside me. In the struggle, the bottle broke, cutting me from my inside. Blood poured out and was collected in a cooking pot. They mixed it with salt, dipped a fly whisk in it, and splashed the blood all over me. It was terrifying, humiliating, painful, but in that twisted world, that ritual was considered a treatment, a way to attract more clients. And strangely enough, it worked. The moment I left the cult, even on that bus back home, strangers began offering me lunch and dinner. Clients started coming in droves. I even had so much money, I bought a carpet for my church. Imagine that. a carpet bought with the money rooted in witchcraft, laid at the altar of God. And OJ, the pastor received it with joy, not knowing its source. That's why I always warn pastors today, don't touch every sacrifice given to you. Let it first be laid at the altar, because not all money is clean. But life on the street was not only about money. It was full of violence. There was a time I was hired to work at the beach. We stayed in a tent thinking we were safe, but clients turned violent. Dogs were brought in, trained for unspeakable sexual violent acts. In one of those encounters, I was hurt so badly with that broken bottle that every single shilling I earned was spent in the hospital. And even then, reporting to police was useless. The first question they would ask was, what were you wearing? The shame silenced me more than the wounds. To cope, I turned to drugs. I couldn't stand needles. I would rub heroin on my lips like lip gloss. It numbed me, but it also destroyed me. My teeth weakened, crumbled, and fell. I would be eating meat and suddenly my teeth would drop into the plate. My body was breaking apart, but my soul was the one truly dying. I tried to escape death 3 times by my own hands. Once, I even stood on the roadside waiting for a speeding trailer so I could throw myself under it. Taxi drivers pulled me back and saved me, though I wasn't grateful at that time. I thought my life was worthless, but OJ, God had not forgotten me. My mother, a prayerful woman, refused to give up on me. While I was drowning in shame and addiction, she called me a great woman of God. People laughed at her, saying your daughter would just come home pregnant one day. But she stood firm. Then came the day I wandered into a church. I was drunk, reeking of alcohol. I didn't even know they were making an altar call. I just walked forward, broken and tired. A woman hugged me at the altar, and in that moment, I felt something I had never felt in years. Love without condition. That hug was the arm of God Himself. Right there, I gave my life to Christ. It wasn't easy after that. I was kicked out of 5 churches for my appearance, for my short skirts, my dyed hair, and the way of dancing. They didn't understand that I only knew how to dance the way I had in clubs. But God had already accepted me, so I held on. Slowly, through tears, rejection, and struggle, I began to change. Today, people still call me names. Some still see me as that prostitute. But I am no longer Shila, the prostitute. I am a Rahab Renewed. I am a mother, a pastor, a voice to the broken. I stand to say, God restores wasted years. He lifted me from the broken bottles and witchcraft altars to now standing as a living testimony of His grace. So, if you are listening to me, don't be deceived by sin's glamour. The devil may give you money, but he will still take your soul in return. OJ, if he could rescue me, he can rescue you. My past is ugly, yes, but my testimony is proof that no one is too far gone from God. This is Anonymous OJ, and if you are new here, I would like you to like, subscribe, share, comment, and hype this channel. And tell somebody about your Anonymous OJ. I'll see you in our next confession.